Do you remember where you were at physically and mentally all that time ago when we first started working together?
Yeah, I think, well, first off, you know, it was great. A good friend of mine who obviously you work with, he came to me and very nicely put it and encouraged me to reach out to you and engage with you, because mentally I was probably drained with work, so putting work first before everything else. Used work as an excuse. I knew that my diet was bad. I knew that I wasn't exercising enough. If I did 2,000 steps a day, that was a good day. And I knew all those things. You know, you're not, as anybody who goes on this journey, you know it, you just don't necessarily, you're not necessarily kind to yourself to do something about it. The kick up the arse for me was I went for a medical and my blood pressure was high, and I knew exactly what they were going to say. You need to lose weight, you need to exercise more, you need to eat healthily. So I'd be an idiot if I think that I could get a better outcome by doing the same thing. So I needed to do something different, which is why I reached out to you.
Do you know what? That chat that we had feels like a lifetime ago now, actually, with the blood stuff. Just out of curiosity, have you had a checkup with the blood stuff? Because what with hypertension, wasn't it?
Yeah,
hypertension.
Yeah. So I haven't. From a basis, that's pretty much how the NHS runs things, doesn't it? I mean, I had a Bupa health check. I get those every 2 years. So I am super excited for January coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go there and smash it.
Yeah, nice.
And go, look at me.
Yeah,
That's the objective. But I think I don't need that validation. I know I'm healthier. I know I'm better. I know that I regularly check my blood pressure. That's in a good place. I'm one of these people who probably suffer a little bit of white coat syndrome anyway, so I go to the doctors and my blood pressure goes up because they talk about my blood pressure. So checking it at home and living a sort of a healthy lifestyle, I know it's better for me. And that's is less of the physical thing, is more of the mental thing. So you go back to your first question, mentally where you were. It's important you mentally get in the right place to deal with that kind of journey that you've got to go on. You've got to be prepared to challenge yourself. You've got to be prepared to make a difference.
So really interesting to hear you say that. So what, if anything, has been, do you think, the main catalyst, or maybe there's a subset of things that we've done that has helped you kind of shift your mindset and got you into a really, really good rhythm? Because you've been very, very consistent now for the best part of however many months. Is there anything that maybe we've done together, or maybe something that you've done on your own on the side of things that has really helped you kind of lose all this weight and kept you consistent?
So we talked a lot about habit forming, and I think that was the thing about creating a habit. The biggest thing for me is the accountability. So I love the fact that on a Sunday night I sit down and I complete my summary for the week, those questions. It gets you to be reflective about the journey you're on. It gets you to see those small incremental gains. They're good motivators on that side of things. So I think, regular check-ins with you, the conversations, it makes you feel like you're on track, make you feel like you're on progress. I'm lucky with, obviously, friends that check in as well, who, like Gareth, who supports, periodically will come and how are you getting on, how are you enjoying it, and people are on the same sort of journey as you on that front. And, WhatsApp community thing. I'm not a lover of WhatsApp, as you know. I'm on too many WhatsApp groups as it is, but to see that and everybody else joining in, I can appreciate the value of being in a community on that side of things. People have got one sort of common goal of what you're trying to do, which is generally is about improving yourself. Everybody's on everybody's on their own journey, and it's important not to compare yourself with anyone else. It's about comparing yourself with how you were yesterday. And my big thing is, am I better than what I was yesterday? And that's kept me going for 18 months or so we've been working together.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Out of everything that we've done, diet, training, the sessions we've done here. I know we touched on the blood work stuff as well when we first started. Is there anything that we've done that's kind of surprised you, that's maybe taken you back, or maybe you've gone, oh, do you know what, I find this really, really valuable, or maybe something that's you think, maybe we couldn't have done that, or something that's,
Biggest surprise?
Yeah.
The program works. So, and take that in a manner that is meant. So, when I started, and I know we had a few conversations about this, deload week. I hate it. I hate deload week. I'm in deload week this week, and I hate it because I don't feel like I'm working. I don't feel like I'm doing it enough. And early on, I was coming home from the gym, and I know you a couple of times you said, look, you're putting too much other stuff in. Just trust the program, trust the progress.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And it was, I wanted results quicker, so I thought that if I pushed things harder in the gym, that's how you get injured. That's how you're going outside the remit of what you're doing.
Yeah, burnout.
Yeah, and I remember you saying, we'll get you doing 30 kg dumbbell presses, and at the time I was like struggling with a 12, and I'm thinking, it's never going to happen. But slowly but surely, week on week, month on month, small incremental gains, and I'm sitting there now, and actually I quite like sitting in front of the free weights now, because I know that I'm making good progress, and I'm picking up weights on the right hand side rather than the left hand side.
Nice.
And that's a good boost for me,
For sure, yeah, and that's
confidence boost, because I'm definitely stronger. That's one thing I'm sure of. I'm definitely leaner, definitely firmer.
Yeah, you can see it.
Moods are going. So yeah, feel good.
You forgot the 175 deadlift then as well.
175 deadlift.
Don't forget
I'm happy with that, and the frustrating thing with that, the first one didn't come out on a video, so I had to do it for the second time.
So it didn't happen then? It hasn't happened?
I've got a video to show you.
All right, I trust you.
Yeah. What was good about that, so I sent the video to my son. So I look at it, I've got every colour of weight. About the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, I've got every colour on one bar.
Good.
Lifting it up. So
that's nice.
He's like, it's not bad. He said, I lift that above my head.
He is strong, to be fair. He is strong. No, that's really nice to hear. And I got to say, credit to you for... It just goes to show when you've got structure, when you've got a plan, that ultimately works. And when you're consistent like you have been, there's no beating around the bush. You work, you travel a lot, which means that there's always that resistance that can come in, which can throw you off. There's service stations that you stop at. I know that there's been moments when you've been surrounded by food in conferences and whatnot, and it's been, don't get me wrong, there's been moments when you've gone, I kind of messed up. But I think what's been really nice is seeing you adopt a different mindset and knowing that you don't have to be on all of the time. There's going to be moments when you can kind of work really hard towards, like you've had a few holidays and you've worked really hard up until then, and then you've just gone, cool, I'm going to switch off, I'm going to enjoy myself, and then as soon as you're back on it, kind of thing. And I think that should be really refreshing for people to hear, because I think they get confused that fitness is like white knuckling all the time and you have to always be on. And it's nice to see you adopt that mindset and enjoy, maybe not necessarily enjoying deloads now, but understanding that they are part of the process, So
the big
credit for you.
The big thing about routine and consistency and is appreciating that you can put it in to adapt to your lifestyle. So I like going to the gym in the evening. And I know we've talked about getting up early and getting it done. Don't work for me. And I was listening to a podcast of a strength and conditioning guy in the States, and he's like, he trains in the evening because he's crap in the morning. It was quite nice to hear that, because I feel there's quite a lot of around getting up early, 5 a.m. in the gym, and that put me off a little bit about starting a journey like this, because I'm not ready to go to the gym at 5 in the morning. I don't want to. Simple as it. But it suits me to go in the evening, because after a stressful day in work, it helps me mentally deload. It helps me to decompress the day, switch off, earpods in, listen to music, focus on, you know, as I said before, I know what to do in the gym, but I needed the accountability. So the accountability, I go through my program, tick that. It appeals to me, tick, 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 tick. It appeals to me that I've got to go there 3 times a week, get it done, so that I can complete my thing on a Sunday. So actually, for anyone who's kind of thinking of that journey, you can do it to fit around you and your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be what it tells you on Instagram, that kind of thing. You can fit it into how you want to fit it into your life. And look, the food thing is, you know, it's a challenge, but we're making good choices. So what's the difference from me is when, you know, stopping at a service station, going to a meeting and there's a buffet and that kind of thing, is just making good choices and understand, do I want the brownie now, or do I want to look great and have the 6-pack, you know, later? And that's the bigger journey, isn't it, to achieve that kind of goal. So you start questioning yourself and challenging yourself, and it's easy to say no then, because you know you've got that goal and what you're trying to achieve. Plus, I don't want to put it down on my phone that I failed, so because you'll have a go at me.
I'm quite nice. I'm quite nice. Some people, have these little moments. But for anyone who's sitting on the fence, who have maybe been watching my videos, seeing my client results, I know I've posted you a few times before, my stories, but they're unsure, maybe they're skeptical, maybe they got fears, maybe they got limiting beliefs. What would you say to them compared to maybe some of the thoughts that you had before you started, some of those doubts, maybe, you know, not trusting yourself or whatever your mindset was? What would you say to them, Matt?
Yeah, so first of all, I've used other PTs, and yet I still come to you because that hadn't worked. So there's a lot of options out there. So number one, you need to find a person that you can work with. That's really important. And, you know, from our initial chat, I think, you know, a like-minded individual, you asked a lot of questions, you got to understand me, my journey. It wasn't, here's a program, a workout that I've taken from ChatGPT, I'm going to give to you. You took time to understand me, who I was, what were my circumstances, what was I trying to achieve, and therefore, what was the goal, and we worked together towards that goal. So that was really important to me. It was bespoke. It was individual to my requirements, and I found that care and attention all the way on the journey, that you're interested in me. Feels like you're interested in me. You might not be, but it feels like you're interested in me, and I jest. But you know, and that's critical, because I feel like I'm working in partnership with you as opposed to just being directed. And you've got you know, you've got a friend, you've got a colleague, you've got a professional, you've got on-hand advice that you need, support that you need. And that for me is, you're not going to change if you think you do it yourself, unless you're brilliant at self-accountability. You need somebody to push you and challenge you and keep you along that track, keep you honest to your plan. That's the big difference for me. The plan is brilliant because it gives you something to follow. But the biggest thing is the accountability and helping you on that journey.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate those words. Really enjoyed working with you, and look forward to the future. So we're going to go and train now. But guys, for anyone else who's maybe watching this video and wants to get in contact with me, the link and the form is down below. Fill it in and book a slot with me, and then we can have a chat, and you'll get amazing results like Matt's. Cheers, guys.
Diolch.